Are these viral fragrances worth the hype? Today we will find out. I have here 5 viral fragrances that have been making the rounds on social media, and a lot of people have been saying a lot of amazing things about these. I have these, I've tried them, and I'm going to be giving you my honest opinions about whether they're worth the hype or not. Some of these might surprise you. If this is your first time on this channel, hello, my name is Anya. I absolutely love fragrances, and I do videos on them here every single weekday, Monday through Friday, along with a ton of bonus content in between. And if you want to still see some more content, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I post on a regular basis. So yes, I have quite a few fragrances here. These are all from Middle Eastern brands, and I was curious about some of these. Some of these I was kind of writing off, and then I tried them and I was like, whoa, this is really good. Some of these I tried and I have some thoughts. So let's get into it. If you're new here, I do some of these reviews with decants, and today I'm going to be reviewing all decants. This is a handy way for me to try more fragrances out for you and also just give you my unbiased opinions. I'm not going to be telling you about the bottle. I'm not going to be telling you about the look of it. I'm going to be telling you about the juice, because that's sometimes what matters the most. So the first fragrance I have to share with you is a fragrance that I actually featured in one of my fragrance news videos. If you don't know, I do them every Monday. You should definitely check them out if you're interested in seeing fragrance news. But this was released, it's been getting a lot of fanfare, and I was curious about trying this out. So this has top notes of rose milk, a mid of meringue and almond, and then a base of vanilla, sandalwood, and musk. So this fragrance is actually a bit of a heavy hitter. If you're not familiar with the Latafa Badal Oud line, it's a line that has a few different iterations, and at this point they've kind of deviated from like the original Badal Oud fragrance, and now they're going in completely different directions. This smells nothing like the original Badal Oud fragrance. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this smells nothing like it. It literally smells like rose milk lotion. I would say yes, you get some of these notes, but really it just smells like lotion. It smells like a very upscale, fancy rose lotion with maybe a little bit of sunscreen. That's feedback that I've received from other people that have been around me when I've worn this. I've worn like 3 sprays of this, and people can smell me from across the room. So it's definitely a heavy hitting fragrance. Even though you might not think it when you first smell it, it's a very heavy hitting fragrance. A little bit goes a long way with this one. So I would say this is an interesting one to try, but still, when you get it, just know that it's going to smell like lotion and or sunscreen. That's the feedback that I've received from other people. And now that I've received that feedback, I can kind of see it. I like it. I don't know if I love it yet. I'll definitely recommend this if you're looking for something that kind of fits that mold. But yeah, there's some other fragrances in this video that I do like more. I would say this is a good contender, but there's some in this video that I think are better. Next up is Tamamis Su Speculo. Now, I wanted to hate this perfume because I might be the only one on the internet that despises the bottle on this. I think the bottle is so very unattractive. I can't really imagine having this in my collection because I think it looks like a kid's toy, and I don't know if I want that. So this is not necessarily something that I want specifically for the bottle, but I was curious about it. I saw this on the decant site that, or the decant seller that I was looking at, and I was curious about trying it out. And I will say, this smells like a tiramisu. I don't. How do I say this? Okay, it smells like a chocolate milkshake that's like also tiramisu flavored. It's very, very strong on the tiramisu. It's not a light fragrance by any means. It's a hyper gourmand. So this perfume has notes of coffee and cinnamon at the top, a mid of creamy accords, vanilla and cocoa, and then a base of musk. This literally, it's giving milkshake. That's how lactonic it is. So if you're okay with that, this is a good one. I personally have another tiramisu fragrance in my collection. You might know it already. It's Chabot's Mon Tiramisu. That one is my favorite because that to me smells like a light, delicate tiramisu with some creaminess, some coffee, but it still smells like a perfume. This smells like literal dessert. So if you're interested in smelling like a tiramisu milkshake, this might be one for you. I don't know if I'll get the full-size bottle because A, I don't like the look of it, and it's a lot of fragrance. It's 100 milliliters. and it looks like that. Like that's gonna be a big bottle. I don't know if I want to have that in my collection. I'm happy and satisfied with my decant for now, but just know if you're interested, it's a very intense tiramisu milkshake. So don't even think tiramisu. It's tiramisu milkshake in my personal opinion. Next up is Shaga Vanilla Toffee by Swiss Arabian. So I feature this in, again, my Fragrance News series, and I was interested in trying it because the perfume guy, I believe here on TikTok, really said that it was one of the favorite releases in his mind for this year. And this has a note of coffee and toffee at the top, a mid of dates, vanilla, cardamom, walnut, and milk, and then a base of brown sugar, Madagascar vanilla, woody notes, benzoin, tonka bean, vanilla caviar, and musk. I'm going to spray the skin. Not gonna lie, when I first spray this perfume, I think it's the coffee. I don't know, like, I think it's the coffee. But whenever I spray it and, like, I smell it for the first time, I cannot help but making a face. I have tried this already, like, 3 or 4 times. Every single time I spray it, the first, like, 5 seconds is, like, disgusting to me. And I don't say that, like, you know me, I don't say that usually. There's something about that coffee that's like, and then, like, in the dry down is where it gets really good. The dry down is where I think, oh, I could get a full-size bottle of this maybe. This is actually one that I really, really like. I think it's good. Um, it's like it's like a refined gourmand fragrance, and I like the cardamom in here. I like the toffee. The dates are not too overbearing. The electronic note is not too screechy. It's overall a very nice fragrance, and I would think this is a good contender for a full-size bottle. If I use this up, I will get a full-size bottle. I think it's one of my favorite gourmands for the wintertime right now that I've tried so far, the new releases. But the opening is intense. Like no one has talked about the opening. And I don't know why, because like the opening is so intense. Like it's really so intense. I smelled it and I was like, what is going on? But then I smelled it again after like 5, 10 seconds and I was like, okay, now it's getting there. This is a moderate performer. It's not a beast mode fragrance by any means. Yeah, it stays pretty close to the skin, more so than I would think for a fragrance with this scent composition. But I really, really like it. I think this is a good one. It's one of my favorites out of this video. Next up is Paar Potion by Paris Corner, and I got this as a bit of an afterthought because this was sold in the same decant shop. By the way, the decant shop that I used for these fragrances, I bought this with my own money. I got this from Aroma Sample on Etsy. So yeah, all these fragrances are from Aroma Sample. I bought them with my own money. She doesn't know that I'm filming this, but I saw this available on her shop and I was like, you know what, I'll try this out. This might be a good, fun option to try out in one of these videos. And let's go into the nose because I was like, I knew that I wouldn't love this fragrance, but I was actually pleasantly surprised with it because, well, I'll tell you in a moment. But this perfume has top notes of pear and apple, a mid of caramel and jasmine, and then a base of raspberry and musk. This, to put it very simply, smells like a green apple Jolly Rancher. And when I smelled this, like, I don't know what it is, but I do have a bit of nostalgia when it comes to this perfume, and I don't know what it is. I think it's like the Jolly Rancher thing. It's nice. Like, it reminds me of being a young adult, and I don't know why. Like, right when I turned 18. I don't know why. But it's one of those weird things because scent is obviously so personal, and scent brings up so many memories for us. And it's interesting because everyone talks about all our other senses, right? But not a lot of people are as familiar with their sense of smell. And we tend to remember a lot when it comes to our nose, when it comes to what we smell. And so many people overlook that. I think what's nice about the fragrance community is that we've like kind of like tapped this like hidden or like I would say underrepresented sense and we're just like really getting into it. And I love fragrances for this. I love collecting fragrances because I love to have different associations with different. I was just having a moment. I love having different associations with various points in my life tied to scent. And yeah, I don't know why, but this fragrance to me literally brings that up. It smells like a green apple Jolly Rancher, and it kind of is giving. Celebrity Semper Refined. I think it's a good one. If you're looking for that scent profile, this would be a good, nice option to try. It's not something that I will likely get a full bottle of just because it's not necessarily something I would go for on a regular basis, but I can see a lot of people enjoying this one. This next perfume is one that I wasn't sure what to expect. In fact, I was questioning whether I'd even like this perfume because I had seen a lot of polarizing reviews on the internet, and it's one of those situations where people say the notes and you're like, okay, so these notes are these, but what's it gonna smell like? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it's gonna smell like, even if you say the notes to me. So hopefully this segment of the video will provide a little bit of clarity on that. But this perfume is Jawari Daniel Rene. It's a collaboration with the influencer Daniel Rene. Prior to finding out about this fragrance, I didn't really know too much about him. I'm not like super hyper focused on TikTok, and I think that's where he is when it comes to his content. So I wasn't quite sure what to think because I don't know his content, I don't know his tastes. But yeah, actually, no, let's get into the notes before we get into what this smells like, in my opinion. So this has top notes of orange, passion fruit, bergamot, cotton candy, a mid of coffee, brown sugar, heliotrope, honey, lily of the valley, and then a base of vanilla and tonka bean. So I was thinking this would be like a super hyper gourmand, something similar to Paar Potion. And it's not that I don't like Paar Potion, it's just not one that I would see myself wearing a lot. But this surprised me. This to me smells like sour candy. I smell the other notes, like the vanilla and the tonka bean definitely is more prominent as the fragrance dries out. It's not like a beast mode fragrance. It's not like a super heavy hitter. I would say it's like moderate leaning, pretty intense. And I can smell all the other ones. And the reason why I was kind of like wondering about this is because I was thinking, okay, so like how gourmand is it gonna be? How like, is it gonna be like super sweet sour candy like Jawari candy, or Paar Potion, the one I just talked about? And those fragrances aren't necessarily bad. They're just not fragrances that I would gravitate towards because sometimes I want something that's a little bit more complex than just literal gourmand. And I tried this, and let me tell you, it smells like, okay, you know, like your quintessential masculine perfume. And yes, I'm oversimplifying it. Stay with me. You know, your quintessential, like, Sauvage Bleu de Chanel fragrance, like that fragrance that has that masculine DNA that everyone kind of recognizes as being masculine. Okay, so think that, but then also think all these other gourmand notes, and you have this fragrance. And I actually really like that. This is like unisex in the best way because it's combining things that are masculine and feminine and putting them into one fragrance. I can see this being amazing on a guy, and I can see this being super edgy and wonderful on a girl. This is a good fragrance. I really like it. I was surprised by it. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. It's really good. And people are saying it's amazing, and I think it's because people like it so much because, yes, it combines those different areas that everyone really ends up liking at some point. So it's very versatile. It's really good. So let's start ranking these. I do this occasionally whenever I do these videos, but okay, so what's in the bottom fifth place? I would say fifth place right now is Paar Potion, not because it's bad, it's just not a fragrance that I would see myself wearing all the time. Next is the Tiramisu fragrance, Tamamis Su Speculo. This is number 4. I don't think it's bad. It's just a fragrance that I don't really see myself wearing that much. I could see myself wearing it occasionally if I'm craving that sort of like milkshake tiramisu chocolate feel, but it's not necessarily for me. And yeah, I also don't like the bottle, but I'm trying to focus on the juice. But the third place would go to Badal Oud Noble Blush. Again, this is like your rose luxury lotion smell. Putting it very simply, but that's what I get. That's the feedback I've received. It's a very heavy hitting fragrance. It's pretty good value, and I think the bottle looks beautiful as well. Second place goes to, this is hard. I would give second place to Shaga Vanilla Toffee simply because the opening is so intense. Otherwise, it would be in first place. And actually, first and second place is neck to neck in this one because first place goes to Jawari Daniel Rene. This is a good one. It's a really good one. I was very pleasantly surprised. I would say it's close to a love. I'm going to be trying all these fragrances out further and of course giving you updates as I try them more. But yeah, let me know, what do you think of these fragrances? Do you have any opinions on them? Have you tried them out? And if so, share your thoughts in the comments. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.